This restoration has been 3 years in the making, and it's because I didn't want to screw this up. William Kilford, the guy who was so generous and sent his Palatoy Death Star playset to us, also sent us his childhood Meccano R2-D2 from the original vintage Star Wars line. And it had been heavily played with, and he wanted us to restore it, as we had done with Timothy's R5-D4. And I looked over it and I thought the method that we used with the all-clad paint for R5-D4's chrome collar was not going to work with an entire, dome head for R2-D2. Because when I restore something or repair it, I want to make sure that that repair is relatively functional in the sense that you can handle it, you can manipulate it, and you don't have to worry about it breaking. I don't like repairs to be decorative. I like repairs to be functional. And so I went around for, several months, and then it became a year or two, working with people like my friend Benjamin, who's a great action figure customizer, trying to figure out the best way to do this. And we experimented with chrome pens, we experimented with that sort of remetallizing process where you kind of have to dip it in copper first. I actually sent Benjamin 3 or 4 vintage beater R2-D2s, and I sent them to the UK where he lives, where William also lives, and we were looking at the various results, and I went back and forth with William a little bit on what he wanted to do, because the only other option was to send it to a vac metallizer and have it truly re-vac metallized. And that always comes with a certain level of anxiety because you're mailing off the part and you're going to hope that you get it back and it doesn't get lost in the mail and all that kind of stuff. And I presented all those risks. And William said, no, I really want to go that route. And I said, all right, well, that's what we'll do. So I talked to a few vac metallizers, and one of them actually went out of business while we were talking to them. They up and retired. And I went and found another one, and that's the one we're going to send it to. So I am finally ready to take this leap. I'm really nervous about it because once you take the chrome off and the paint off, you can't go back. You have to commit to the process. And so today we're committing to that process over 3 years after William sent this to us. And William has been very patient. And he couldn't have been a better person about this process. But I think he knew that I wanted to do this right the first time and not mess it up, because this is his childhood original. So we're kind of in uncharted territory here because R2-D2 has painted panels on top of the chrome, which is something that Benjamin and I have been working out as well after we get the part back. But I'm going to show you the first step, which is getting the chrome and the paint off. So here we go. William sent us his R2-D2, which he clearly cares about, in this vintage Star Wars Darth Vader tin, which is pretty cool. It's even got hinges on it. And it came to us just like this, with some protective paper in it so that it wouldn't move around in shipment. But as you can see, this R2-D2 is in pretty rough shape. He doesn't even have a sticker left. He's got a broken leg, which we're going to have to address in the future. One leg is still pretty solid, but his head is pretty much chromeless at this point. I mean, there's not a lot left. So what is left we need to get rid of, because the vac metallizing service said, and I quote, they need that part to be as smooth as glass when they receive it so they can mount it and properly re-vac metallize it. So, like R5-D4, he has a screw in the bottom, and we're just going to unscrew R2-D2's head. Come on, R2. All right, let's try the bigger screwdriver. There we go. Come on. Boy, it doesn't want to let go. There we go. So this screw is out. It's the original Meccano screw, which we're going to keep, of course. I'm going to try and clean up some of the rust on top. And R2's head comes off. And you can see the sort of the original color of the plastic underneath. You know, when you see something like a silver hawk or any piece of chrome, back metallized chrome plastic, it's usually a dull yellow color under the chrome. And that clear, sort of slightly shiny blue metallic paint is still there, although it is faded. We're going to have to replace that, and that's what Benjamin and I are working on figuring out. Because what I want to do when this part comes back is I want to make sure that we mask all of these and then use an airbrush and spray it on rather than hand paint it, so that it looks like the factory original look. Because I want to return this to William in the best possible result I can get. Now the rest of R2-D2 is just like R5-D4. He has a kind of clicker collar. It's what makes his head click around. Okay, so it's got a little bit of the click thing going on. And then of course we have his barrel body with an extra leg. Alright, but that's not what concerns us right now. What concerns us is getting the chrome off of this piece. Now, the way I'm going to do that is with oven cleaner, spray oven cleaner. That's the quickest way. And we're going to put this in a Ziploc bag and spray the interior of the bag with oven cleaner and then check the result. Godspeed. God, this makes me nervous. Alright, so we're going to leave that in the bag and hope that it gets all this paint off and chrome. And we'll come back to it later. And here is the end result. It required a little bit of coaxing, I had to wait a little bit for that oven cleaner to get in there. Then we scrubbed it a little bit with a toothbrush, always wearing gloves. And got all of the chrome off. Now, it feels like it's as smooth as glass. I hope this meets the standards of the vac metallizer. But this is the first step in the process. So now we're gonna send this off and hopefully get it back in a week or two, and it'll be all fresh and fully re-vac metallized like Kenner would have done. And then we'll be able to start dealing with those color panels, those clear blue panels and that red dot on the front. So William, the first step is finished. We're on our way. So you'll see an update on this in part 2 of the vintage Kenner Star Wars R2-D2 restoration. We'll see you on the next video, everyone.